online and everything, when everything kind of has the same look and feel and the same message towards it, then it just bolsters and builds the brand authority, brand saliency, meaning all the things kind of connect together. So I think what we don't realize, at least consciously, is subconsciously, we look for those things in any brand or any company that we support or patronize.
Welcome to the Money Doctor podcast, but also the Faith and Finance, wherever you're catching us, hopefully both places, because the new show is really taking a lane of its own. We're using Faith and Finance to really tell the story behind our businesses. Then we're going to hop over to the Money Doctor podcast, help us build capacity as business owners and really beef up our businesses. Maybe it's not like a big, huge business like some of us have, but the thing that we're showing up online doing in attempts to make money. Because I meet so many of those in networking now. They still have their jobs. Some of them like their jobs, but they know they want to start preparing something on the side. And so thank you, Andre Barracks.
That is me, originally from Brooklyn, New York. I'm a resident of Princeton, North Carolina now with the family, and been here 4 years now, actually. Never thought I'd be on Southern lifestyle, but God has other plans than what we have. So
tell us what you mean by that, because that's why we're here.
I'm a New Yorker, man. I'm north. I'm about that north life. That's where the family is and stuff. So I was, nothing against y'all, nothing against Southern people or anything like that. Just I never saw myself down there. But the Lord kind of moves and impressed upon us to kind of get a restart. Work-wise, it has panned out, as far as getting a stable job, one that has a good work-life balance. I currently, my 9 to 5 is a disability analyst for the state of North Carolina.
Oh.
I work from home 3 days out the week, and 2 days I go into the office. So I'm able to be home and kind of take care of some things while I'm here and stuff. Sometimes I gotta tell them like, hey, I am working. I know y'all see me here, but pretend I'm not here.
And so how long have you been in North Carolina?
4 years. May 30th, 2022.
Okay.
Down.
Okay. And so we met then within that 4 years. Obviously, we met on, I feel like it probably wasn't day one of Threads, but it definitely was within the first week of Threads. Well, when Threads came out, because that's the platform where we were both posting. And so, yeah. So then, okay, so let's back up a little bit. So you moved down here, a married man with kids. Tell us about that. Did you always want to be a father of? Are you going to tell the audience how many kids? I already know.
We have 7 children currently. That was not exactly my thought process. I was looking for 2 or 3, maybe 4, but Lord has expanded. So hey, what are you gonna do?
Right. So what would you say your earliest memory of business as a child, or where did the thought to become a business owner come in?
I don't know where it started from, but from a young age, I've always said I don't want to do a 9 to 5 like 40 years and stuff. I want to have multiple streams of income. I've been saying that has been something that's been in my psyche since however long I can remember. Probably high school and before, maybe, or I'll definitely say at least high school. I remember myself saying that.
Okay.
Sidebar, I play music, so that definitely, I play guitar, my main instrument. So I've always just kind of, even if nothing else, music to be a source of income along with anything else. The whole business thing probably didn't really pop off as far as in my mind until after college, or once I graduated '02 with my undergrad degree, which is many moons now. So after that, I was going to kind of do my master's too. I had my mind to do that. Well, I didn't really know what I wanted to do it in, and then I kind of got a sense I wanted to do branding or brand management as a master's. Started researching, looking into that. 2011 or so, I would say I started that. For what I wanted to do, I needed to take the GRE, so I had to kind of study up for that. Applied to 2 schools. They didn't take me. And then I saw online an ad for Marist. They had like an online program with integrated marketing communications. Kind of leery about online classes and stuff, because I like to kind of be in the professor's face and ask questions.
That's interesting. Hearing you say that you didn't care for online classes, as you gave me the idea to do online classes. That's so interesting.
Funny how life works, huh? Yeah, but with online stuff, ends up being cheaper because there's a lot less overhead, right? Because you're not in a physical building, so a lot of those extra, I guess, expenses that go into courses and stuff. You ain't got to worry about.
Yes, yes. And I will forever credit you for planting the seed about Dreamers Cohort. The technology made it possible to pull this together and even for us to collaborate. So it's one of those things where you really do have to be open to doing things differently. And I always go back to the threads and the social media because for the first 20 years of my business, I could care less about social media. And then here, one of my key colleagues to move things forward for the next phase of my business is coming from social media. So you just got to be open. And so back to the whole faith concept and like, I don't even know what direction to go because that's when I talked to you about wanting to do group training. I was at just a standstill. I made myself stand still and just like, I'm not going to keep doing what I've been doing the way I did in 2025. And
Mhm.
for that, but yeah, Dreamers kind of slipped in there and took my full focus. But the good news is it's still me, but it's me packaged. And so back to the branding.
I'm a person that likes to help. I said before, glass always half full in my mind, and I
Yes.
like to just help people along and encouraging folks. I've
Yes.
always learned, I've come to learn that for me, two of my kind of tenets or I guess pillars of my life is encouraging and intercession. So with that, you know, kind of leads into branding and stuff because you're walking with somebody and you're doing more than just branding, but you're actually speaking into them and kind of helping them understand who they are and kind of their principles and all that. And the goal, as I did the branding, as I did the masters, kind of one of the end goals always to kind of have my own business doing branding. And I think I said it in my pivot, lunch and learn that there's no whack idea. Some things need tweaking and stuff, but if it's an idea, it came to you for a reason, right?
Cultivating, tweaking.
All those things. You got to do those things. So I like to hear stuff, and I'm the person. If you tell me an idea, my mind and wheels start going immediately. Like, oh yeah, you can do this. Oh, these can happen. Or if you do this, da, 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 da.
Mm.
So that's just kind of how I work. Um, so that's kind of how that whole spiel happened and everything.
It is putting the pieces together for me because you just kind of jumped on camera and just followed what I was throwing out there. And then at some point you begin leading, which was pretty awesome to watch, to fall back. I'm like, oh, okay. We all have the replays, and one of them was before we launched. And you jumped on there and just said a lot of what you just said because you had been very quiet up until then. I was kind of doing all the talking. I had my little agenda. I'd ask you stuff and you weigh in. But then all of a sudden I gave you the mic and I'm like, what do you want me to say? Like, what do you want? I'm like, just tell the people who you are. That's when you start talking about, no such thing as a bad idea. That's the clip, Andre, that ended up on the YouTube Shorts page.
Mm.
Okay. It was such a powerful message. What you were saying, there's no such thing as a bad idea. It may need a little tweaking, a little cultivating. That's like you're saying.
Very rare. I think I would say nobody actually. It's just one thing they do, one thing they're kind of good at, or there's
Or
one thing,
one side to them.
or one side to them, right? A lot of people, a
Yeah.
lot of us, we are all multiple things going on. You know what I mean? So I think tapping into that as well, or being mindful of it as well, I think is important. So I think those things. And I'm saying for a lot of times, life be life, and so a lot of times we just going at 65 miles per hour in the 30 mile zone. We ain't really stopping to think and stuff. Once in a while, you gotta just like stop and kind of really think back to once again the thing that you like,
Yeah.
interactions and stuff, which is kind of something that goes into the workbook that we did for the pivot workbook. Is like whatever your client said about you, what do people continually say about you? Because one person says it, okay. If
Yeah.
like 10 people say it over a span of time who don't even know each other and stuff, there's
Right.
something
Right.
there. It's not a coincidence anymore, right? There's some kind of empirical data with that. So how do we kind of pull from that empirical data and be like, okay, what is this, right? What is this actually? Is there a name for this? It may not be. Maybe a whole new lane. Who knows? But
It
what
might
is
be money doctor. It might be for you to be a money doctor because money has always been a lane, a theme
it? Mm,
for me. But you're right. I just kept selling stuff, selling products, but people needed more than that. They needed
mm,
help understanding the products. They needed someone to tie all the products together and make it make sense, which is my why, is to make stuff
mm,
make sense. And you're right. That wasn't a lane. I had to step out in faith
Mm,
and show what that is. Money doctor.
right. Which
Um,
I think is a great. It's a great. Just kind of even just the wording that you use with that, or just kind of
it's a divine idea, though. It was a divine idea. It was given to me. But you
the
already know the
messaging
story
program.
because I was on
Right.
your podcast. You already
Just
know. But you're
the
right.
messaging.
People called me that before I got the name. Like you said, confirmation. So that's what you do. You help us identify those things, or you help put that together. If people, let's say they were taking notes like I was of what you were saying, and then they do the work of getting some answers and connecting some experiences. You can do for them what you did on your podcast is basically present solutions.
Correct. And that's kind of how we now galvanize what we've learned and how do we put it present it to the world and how do we package it as well, right? 'Cause that's a lot of it is
Yeah.
branding, how it's packaged. This may not be everybody. This may be a small set of people, but I'm always interested to see packaging of stuff for whatever company it is. Just how they package stuff, like
Hmm.
what their presentation looks like. You know, it's important to me, and I'm always very critical. Not say critical, but
You can critique very effectively, which is helpful.
okay. I'll take that. I'll go with that.
If you're
No,
trying to
sometimes you say
get to the
critical
next
when I
level,
say
you need someone to do that.
packaging something and putting it in a way that is pleasing to the eyes, that makes sense, that relates, that connects, that resonates with folks.
That's good.
I think is really the next portion after you kind of gathered all your stuff and now you have this, in a sense, this jigsaw puzzle pieces in front of you. It's like, all right, what's the best way of putting this together so that we have a nice cohesive. That's another, I would say buzzword, but that's a word I like to use a lot as well.
You do
And
use that word a lot.
cohesive.
Cohesive.
We can have disjoint stuff, when things all fall in line and everything, when everything kind of has the same look and feel and same message towards it, then it just bolsters and builds the brand authority and another word, brand saliency, another big word, fancy word, but just, meaning all the things kind of connect together. Because I think what we don't realize, at least consciously, is subconsciously, we look for those things in any brand or any company that we support or patronize. We look for those things subconsciously. Like if you're, for example, say, what's a good number? Like say Gap, right? So Gap has a certain look to it, has a certain way the logo looks, right? Or even,
Minimalist.
even better yet, I think like food stuff might be better, like Coca Cola or like Pepsi or something like that, right? They're
Mm.
so iconic, right? There's a certain look we have already associated with them that has been years on the making. That anytime we see something, a small variant of what we're used to, we're like, hey, whoa, what's going on here? What's this? What's happening? Then we kind of question this stuff. But internally or unconsciously, we have such a trust factor for this company because it has been so consistent for all these years, having the same thing, and we see the same thing reoccurring, everything else. So we kind of subconsciously already trust what they're doing and what they're saying, right? So that's part of the psychology, I think, as well too, is when we're doing branding and stuff, and the importance of the cohesiveness is that it's the same thing, and we see the same thing, and it strengthens and enforces everything else because it's speaking the same thing. It may not be exactly similar altogether, but there's pieces of it and stuff. Even with you, like giving the brand style guide that you've given, essentially that's the main theme of the point of that, right? Is that everything they see from Money Doctor has a look and has a certain vibe to it in a sense, right? So when they see that, they know, okay, I can trust her because she's not all over the place. You know what I mean? It's not this thing one day, this thing one day. Then like, all right, I can't really trust you because you can't even trust yourself to just have something consistent and stuff. I'm not gonna work with you. No, that's not gonna work. You know what I mean? So those things are important as well as we grow and as we build and as we do things. But something I try my best to do as well too, as far as messaging. That's why kind of a lot of times I use the same wordings or same language and stuff because it's reiterating a fact and stuff, and it kind of has it stuck in your mind because like, oh
Mhm.
wait, you said it before, right? You remember the last time I said it, the last time I said it, the last time I said it. So it stays
Yeah.
in your mind as well. So those things are important as well.
That's awesome. It's been such a joy to work with you. And I'm so appreciative just of, you're right, you're consistent. Your consistency of even in your communication, the amount, the type. That's your brand. And you do say this too. I want to help as much as I can. I've heard you say that a few times. We're not here just for ourselves. We're here for others. So these are recurring themes with your brand. What are some closing words that you would have for someone who's wanting to get to that next level with what they're doing, whatever it looks like?
I would say take time and think through things. You know, life as a life it gets busy. A lot of times you don't just take the time to sit and kind of think over things and really write things down. Write things down. I'd say that's also important. Whatever thoughts, ideas, and things you have, write down. If you have a plan, if you have something, an idea that you want to do, get it out your head. If it stays in your head, it'll circle around and get on the ride and all that stuff all the time. But get it out of there, put it in paper form, even if you do it digitally, just get it out and write it out, and also connect with people. Connecting with Andre would be great as well. Here to help.
Because you covered, like you're saying, your pivot guide was spot on for those of us wanting to pivot, literally, or do our business a different way. You really honed in on capturing what we do now. Those were the first steps. Those are the things to do of what you just mentioned.
For those that might be in business already, need pivots, you'll get the link for the Lunch and Learn, and you get the workbook for that as well. So check that out. I do also have a brand essentials kit that is online that you can do, and that's for those starting a business. Kind of gets you the foundations, kind of the skeleton of the foundations of a business, which is talking about your vision, your mission, talking about your target market, right? Talking about your messaging, like what are you saying and what's your tone and voice and all that. So those things that takes a little time to get into the workbooks. I believe in this doing work. Anytime anywhere it works with me, you get homework. That's what you get with me. Because I'm walking alongside with you. I'm not doing anything for you. What I do is, I come alongside you and we both work together. I may do some advising, do some tweaking with you, but it's yours. I can't be more passionate about something that's yours, right? You have to be more passionate than I am. I'm just here to take you on and push you forward and stuff. But I would say write things down, talk with folks, being intentional about your stuff and what you want to do, what you need to do. The Brand Essentials Kit, a link for that for those that are starting out and need to get a foundation thing. So I have that. And you also see book a discovery call. That's a half-hour call, chat with me. You'll do most of the talking. I talk for like a little bit in the beginning, but mostly it's for you to kind of say what you have in mind, what you're trying to do, and see how I can perhaps come alongside you and help you out. And just help you kind of organize your thoughts and put some clarity to things. Clarity is the key to your success. That's what I say. So links and stuff like that. So in the show notes, when these come out, y'all can click on and see what y'all need to do. So some things are free, some things are paid. But
yeah, in case they don't have a podcast where they could talk about it with you, they could get on a phone call with you, a discovery call, and just because I'm picking his brain even on this podcast. Right. I'm like, oh, let me say some notes.
She got like an hour discovery call when she cheated.
Let me take some notes here. Yeah, that's true. I did get an hour. And so yes, and so we do want to honor your time though. Thank you, Andre, for squeezing me in on a work day again with everything that you've got going on. And I'm just excited to build this asset because that's what ultimately our businesses can be when we do these extra things that he's sharing with you. Now, if you want to give your contact information here in audio, of course, we'll have it in the show notes as well.
Well, the website is barracksbranding.com. That's BARRACKS BRANDING.com. That is the website. Email is Andre@barracksbranding.com. I can't get my number out right now, but
I'll get my number out.
You can definitely on the website. You can also go on the website and book a discovery call. You see the link for that there, and that's before the link to the other stuff will be below these show notes here. I'm on Instagram as Barracks Branding, so you can check me out over there. Facebook, it's Barracks BS is the little kind of tagline or handle, I should say. You can find me on YouTube at Barracks Branding. I have some videos over there. And overall on TikTok is Dre Barracks, I believe.
That's awesome.
Take care.
Okay. That was Andre, familiar voice over here in these Money Doctor streets. And did you hear what he said? You can't even trust yourself when we post stuff that looks all over the place, not consistent, not cohesive. Wow, he has a way with words, doesn't he? I did not see that coming. And that's why you want to make sure you're following both of us on YouTube, because you'll get to see our interaction. And tell you what, I'm going to post the branding guide. It's just one sheet. It's not even the big stuff you pay marketing firms for thousands of dollars, believe it or not, where it shows your fonts that you're going to be using, your colors. I'm going to put a link to what he was referring to in the show notes, because it's so important that we do everything we can to ensure success when we step out and when we post. It takes time to create our content. So yes, we do want it cohesive. I agree with him on that. So I'll put that also in the show notes. And of course, it came right off Canva. Come on. We have all these free tools out here now to make it make sense to people. But first, ourselves. I spent a lot of time on Canva during the shutdowns. My first Instagram class was May 2020. Never forget that. But it really helped me to figure out. And I had a great coach, by the way, who challenged us to figure that stuff out on the front end. What are your colors? What feel do you want people to have? Well, you hear now, Andre is that coach. Okay. So reach out to him. And of course, you can find us anywhere that you find podcasts. Your Money DR, anywhere on social, Your Money DR. YourMoneyDR.com is the website. And if you go there, you'll see the Dreamers tab. It's still up. We are still marketing Dreamers. I'm going to keep it up even during the summer. Please subscribe if you've been listening and you haven't subscribed yet, or maybe you're just finding us. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to the community. Please leave us a rating if you've been listening and you're enjoying this content. It's helping you in some way with your business, or maybe just helping to keep business on your mind if you hadn't started yet. Let us know that too. We appreciate that feedback. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off and say, make it a great day, especially for your money and your business and your branding and your look of cohesiveness. Mildred Dillon, CPA, founder of The Money Doctor. And I'll see you next episode.